CTV Edmonton, local breaking news with Nariman Isa.
Good evening. The city is now plowing neighborhood streets as a Phase 2 parking ban has been declared. Now, if you don't move your car, it likely won't be towed, though. City Council decided not to budget money for towing this year. Now, despite the lack of funding, the city says there may be occasional towing if deemed necessary. So far this season, it has towed 33 vehicles and issued 245 tickets. People who live in areas that are now clear have mixed reviews of the city's performance. CTV's Jeremy Thompson reports.
The streets are smooth in this South Edmonton neighborhood, or at least much smoother than they were.
Night and day, man. This is perfect, otherwise it was dangerous.
What was full of deep ruts before is now narrowed by windrows. Cars that didn't obey the parking ban make it narrower still. 2 years ago, the city had hundreds of vehicles towed. This season, council allocated $100,000 for towing, but that money was only for 2025. Councillor Joanne Wright says the towing strategy had multiple issues.
One of the main barriers that was highlighted for me was the ability of towing companies to prioritize city towing requests.
With no towing, ticketing is the main means of parking ban enforcement. The city has 5 dedicated officers to issue fines, though none of the vehicles CTV saw parked on the street had tickets on the windshield by early afternoon.
People talk about wanting more coverage, but they also want lower taxes, so I can understand the city's position on this. It's a real challenge.
This season, snow and ice crews include bobcats to clear windrows from driveway entrances within a few hours. This woman says it's causing more trouble than it's worth.
As a homeowner, would you be happy with something like that in front of your house?
She says windrows have also made sidewalks nearly impassable in some parts of the neighborhood and was expecting a truck to come collect the snow at some point. But the city tells CTV this winter, windrow pickup and removal in residential areas is not part of the approved service levels.
This might be what done looks like for you.
Wow, that sure made me happy.
Now, the Phase 2 parking ban will be in place for 14 days, but only enforced once crews start clearing a neighborhood. Now, if you see a yellow sign, your street should be plowed within the next 3 days. Joanne Wright says crews will just skip a street with too many parked cars and try to come back later. The city is asking for feedback on proposed changes to infill development. Last year, City Council asked administration to look at the zoning bylaw that affects infill development. Some of those proposed changes include reducing the number of units on a mid-block site and considering the size, height, and context of surrounding structures. You can provide your feedback on the City of Edmonton website until January 29th. Staff will present the responses to the city's Urban Planning Committee on February 10th. Primary Care Alberta is making changes to how it tests women for cervical cancer. It was announced today that HPV screening will eventually eliminate routine Pap tests in Alberta. HPV is a common infection spread through sexual contact. Doctors say cervical cancer is almost always caused by high-risk subtypes of HPV. Now, they say testing for HPV instead of cell changes caused by HPV, as done in a Pap, can catch cancer earlier. Women won't notice much of a difference since they still need to go to the doctor to have a sample collected. The test is also only recommended once every 5 years instead of once every 3 years. CTV is told self-testing will eventually be an option.
Self-sampling allows our patients to collect the sample by themselves, either in the health provider's office or even at home, to be then mailed back or delivered back to the lab for further testing. So with that, I think it allows increased access to testing.
HPV testing started being offered to Albertans aged 50 to 69 in November. Plans to expand the test to 25 to 49-year-olds is underway. Now, once that happens, Primary Care Alberta says routine PAPs will no longer be offered. Medical professionals say it is important to know, even if you do feel healthy or are not sexually active or have been through menopause, that you should still get this test. And they also recommend the HPV vaccine since it is highly effective in protecting against the most common cancer-causing types of HPV. Several witnesses were called today in a hit-and-run, or were called today in the trial for a man accused in a deadly hit-and-run involving a U-Haul. Now, this is the first time evidence has been called since the trial started a week ago. CTV's Amanda Anderson reports.
In a second-floor courtroom, Peter Ashby pleaded not guilty to 10 charges. He's accused of evading police while driving a U-Haul that struck and killed 45-year-old Cassandra Gartner. The U-Haul was involved in a second crash before it was dumped outside a 7-Eleven, where Ashby is then alleged to have stolen a car with a child inside. The child was dropped off nearby unhurt. Today, the court heard from 8 witnesses there to authenticate videos obtained from businesses near the 7-Eleven the night of the crash. The first 30 seconds of a 2-minute video was played in court, showing a person running outside the 7-Eleven. The defense took issue with that video, arguing the officer who obtained it did not participate in the creation or storage of it, nor had he watched the entire video. More surveillance video was shown from outside Chicken Chemistry, where a person is seen running towards a car, then taking off in it. Several applications were heard during the first week of the trial, including a rare application that saw the removal of one of the Crown prosecutors. Today, the justice appeared to express her frustration with the Crown prosecutor and defense on several occasions. Twice, the justice reminded them they had 2 years to prepare for this trial. She's urging them to work together to use the court's time more efficiently, suggesting at the rate today was going, they'd need 2 months to get through witnesses. The trial continues tomorrow. Amanda Anderson, CTV News, Wetaskiwin.
A 36-year-old woman is facing 2 charges after a woman was killed while crossing the street. Police say a woman was walking her dog north on 82nd Street. She was crossing 153rd Avenue at a crosswalk when she was hit by a southbound SUV that was turning left onto 153rd Avenue. Now, police say the 58-year-old woman was taken to hospital where she died. Police have charged the driver of the SUV with failure to yield to a pedestrian and careless driving. 2 men in Edmonton are facing charges after threats were made against the Jewish community last month. Edmonton police received a tip about threatening social media posts from the Niagara Regional Police Service in Ontario. Police arrested and charged 31-year-old Amjad Jaradat with uttering threats. In a separate case, RCMP began investigating online posts sharing extremist views and comments towards the Jewish community. RCMP have charged 35-year-old Esteban Pavez with uttering threats. Charges have not been laid after a Calgary woman was attacked by a man while showing a rental. Now, sources say she fought back and the man died from his injuries. On Friday, a 30-year-old woman was showing a 40-year-old man a rental home for the second time. According to sources, she was attacked in the basement. She fought him off and eventually stabbed him. The man died on scene. She was taken to hospital with serious injuries and has since been released. Police say no charges have been laid and they're expecting to release more details tomorrow. Some Edmontonians are adding their voices to nationwide protests to condemn the Iranian regime. A rally was held in central Edmonton yesterday. People tell CTV News they feel hopeful that change is coming to Iran. Those are the chants of local protesters demanding the fall of the Islamic regime. Now, people came out with signs to support the return of Reza Pahlavi, who was named the Crown Prince in 1967. Internet access and telephone lines were shut down more than 3 days ago, making it difficult to know the full extent of what is unfolding on the ground. That's why these Edmontonians say they have to speak up.
The reality is that when our people don't have a voice at home, it is our priority and our responsibility to be that voice internationally. So the least we can do as Iranians is to show that we care and that we are still listening and looking at what is happening in our country.
This story is 47 years of tyranny. People not having basic human rights freedoms. It kind of escalated.
Human rights groups say more than 500 people have been killed and 10,000 detained. Edmonton's food bank has wrapped up its festive campaign, hitting one target but falling short of another. The food bank reached its financial goal of fundraising $4.5 million. Now, the volume of food donated during the holiday season campaign came up 20% short of the preset mark of 300,000 kilograms.
At first, people might think that it's really bad, but our doors open all year round. Our donation bins are available at all grocery stores, and we encourage people to make giving a habit.
The food bank says reaching donated food targets is important, given it's seen an increase of 4,000 new clients year over year for the past 5 years. As the Prime Minister heads to China to talk trade this week, Premier Danielle Smith is pushing for a faster timeline on major projects. In a letter to Mark Carney, Danielle Smith says she wants to see projects like a proposed West Coast pipeline greenlit within 6 months. Carney's major projects office currently aims to complete regulatory reviews within 2 years. Smith says that timeline is too long now the United States has control of Venezuela's oil industry. Carney will meet with Chinese President Xi Jinping this week. It's the first official trip to China by a Canadian Prime Minister in nearly a decade. A group is now collecting signatures for a province-wide petition to hold a referendum on public education funding.
No matter what kind of family they're from, how much their family makes in a year, education is important and it should be available to all.
Support Our Students Alberta held town hall meetings over the weekend. The group discussed classroom challenges since the provincial government used the notwithstanding clause in October to end a teacher strike. Edmonton's meeting included discussing the petition, which asks whether taxpayer money should continue going to private schools. The group needs to collect 177,000 signatures by February 11th for the petition to be considered. A pair of Edmonton Oil Kings have returned to the team after taking part in the World Juniors in Minnesota over the holidays. Canada's Ethan McKenzie and Czechia's Max Curran are back on the ice in Edmonton. Both nations faced off twice during the tournament. Czechia knocked Canada out of gold medal contention on their way to a silver medal finish. Canada finished with bronze. Both players say the tournament has given them a boost of confidence and experience.
I dream of it being a kid, going to that tournament and playing there. So, yeah, being there, it flew by. I never had a better time around Christmas time, so it was unbelievable.
Yeah, it means so much, not just for me, but for my teammates, for the whole country. It was the 4th medal in a row for Czechia, so, I think we made everyone really proud.
Oil Kings are back in action Wednesday night when they host the Medicine Hat Tigers at Rogers Place. Well, one of the longest-running hockey tournaments in the world is back for another year in Edmonton. Minor Hockey Week started over the weekend with the youngest players outside on the pond. CTV's Connor Hogg has more.
Hockey players in Edmonton under the age of 9 took advantage of the warm weekend weather to hit the ice in a different setting than they usually play in.
How is playing on a pond like this different than what you're normally doing?
They're just like, it's more yellow.
20 mini rinks built on the pond here. We're in such a beautiful setting. It's really quite neat down here.
The mini rinks have been built at Cattail Crossing Golf Club. Since it's too cold at the moment to hit the links, the club decided that they could use their space to recreate the winter days of old.
That experience as a kid, being outdoors and playing hockey on the pond, and I know just chatting with some of the parents, that's what they love the most about the opportunities for the kids.
The Pond Hockey Classic started last year, and while it has grown, organizers say the goal is to keep the tournament feeling small.
Innocent hockey, we just love it. We throw our skates on, we jump on the pond, and we get to have some fun.
Gameplay not the only attraction, with the retro setup also being more conducive to socializing and making friends.
What do you like about playing hockey?
Playing with my friends.
It's fun to get them out here, and it's fun to be out here with all the other teams. Everybody mixing it up, and you're out there. The girls are playing, but other teams are playing on other services as well, so we can pop over and see other people we know, make some connections.
You have more fresh air than you're in your house.
Organizers say they hope players will remember these games the way they remember playing on the pond in their U9 days.
What's the main memory that you think you're going to take away from today?
Scoring goals.
Scoring goals?
Yeah.
Quick Card Minor Hockey Week runs until January 18th. Connor Hogg, CTV News, Edmonton.
Coming up next, what the meeting between Canada and China could mean for prairie farmers.
I don't see them inking a trade deal or something that immediately fixes it, but I think doing anything is better than doing nothing.
Good evening, folks. A record-setting 10 degrees in Edmonton today.
won't be as warm tomorrow, but we'll take another run at a record-setting high on Wednesday. Take a closer look at that, let you know how long the warm spell will last in just a few minutes.
Calgary's latest water main break could soon be fixed, but a warning from officials that the threat of another rupture is far from over. CTV's Jordan Canagan reports it's a critical point in the project.
The hole where Calgary's latest water main break happened is closed up, but it's what's underneath that's still making officials nervous.
We are not out of the woods yet. As we refill this pipe and bring it back up to pressure, there's still a real chance that we could see another break.
A steel pipe is in place where the old one failed. They're now refeeding the main with 22 million liters of water and taking samples to check when it's safe to drink again.
Increasing water flow through the pipe comes with risk. Once the pipe is returned to service, we will begin the process of easing out of water conservation.
But those water restrictions may remain if another rupture happens soon, and they'll be back regardless in the spring and fall. That's when more water upgrades will happen. Council will also consider recommendations from an independent panel that found 20 years of neglect in the city's water system.
There's no such thing as moving too quickly on getting Calgary's water supply back to safety and reliability. We've known that this is a ticking time bomb underneath our streets.
But some councillors believe they are being rushed by the panel. The Ward 2 councillors saying the $2 million independent report equated to an AI summary.
This council is being pressured, and that's a political pressure move on this council to say yes without doing our due diligence.
The panel chair disputing that, saying Calgary's failing water infrastructure needs updating fast.
We were not in any way trying to, I'm going to say, pressure council into considering things outside of the normal time that it takes to do things in a well-measured way.
Jordan Canagan, CTV News, Calgary.
We're getting a look inside the dream home up for grabs in a lottery supporting big brothers and big sisters. Now, this bungalow in St. Albert is worth just over $1 million. It has more than 2,900 square feet of living space. Now, the Big Brothers Big Sisters Dream Home Win 50 lottery is the agency's biggest fundraiser of the year. The 50-50 draw could net you up to $1 million.
It is our most important fundraiser because it helps us fund all of our programs and services that we offer to more than 4,500 children and youth in Edmonton and surrounding areas.
The deadline to purchase tickets is April 13th, and the draws take place on May 7th. As our Prime Minister prepares to meet with China's president this week, some Canadian farmers are struggling to turn a profit as tariffs drive down market prices. However, as CTV's Alison Bamford explains, there is hope this week's meeting could mark a turning point.
This time of year, Ryan Scragg should be hauling grain. Instead, he's pushing snow and wondering what he's going to plant in the spring.
The problem is right now is that nothing pencils out to a profit.
Canola and peas usually make up about 70% of what Scragg grows, but both crops face punishing tariffs from China that have pulverized market prices.
Right now, all of Scragg's bins are full, but normally for this time of year, he said at least 20% of his grain would already be sold.
I'm waiting as long as I can. At some point, there's just no more option of waiting.
Many face the same challenges, now clinging to hope that upcoming talks between Prime Minister Mark Carney and China's president will progress trade negotiations.
What we're hoping to see now is that we can translate some of that engagement into action on these issues.
Carney's visit to China, slated for next week, is planting optimism ahead of spring seeding. But farmers still mindful that these tariffs were put in place last March and removing them takes time.
I don't see them inking a trade deal or something that immediately fixes it, but I think doing anything is better than doing nothing.
For now, farmers like Scragg will weather the storm. He plans to cut back on canola and nearly drop peas altogether this spring, seeding a little bit of everything, hoping he can grow a profit. Alison Bamford, CTV News, near Prince Albert.
Well, still to come, and an extreme warm-up in southern Alberta has at least one driving range open for business.
When we get customers coming in and they find out that we're open, they're usually quite excited to be able to swing outside and on the course.
Tuesday on Your Morning, Mayor Andrew Knack joins us after traveling to China for the Harbin Snow and Ice Festival. We'll also ask him about snow and ice clearing here in Edmonton. We'll see you then.
Your Morning Edmonton, weekdays.
Programming brought to you by James H. Brown Injury Lawyers, the heavy hitters of injury law.
Welcome back. Well, big swing from where we were to start the month. Temperatures well below average. Now, all of a sudden, your morning low is warmer than the average high for this time of year. And you can see 10.3 today breaks the old record by almost a full degree. That record goes all the way back to 1891. Tomorrow's record high is also 9.4 from 1891. I think that one's probably safe. Not only was this a record-setting day for January 12th, it was also, if you look at since 2000, last quarter century, it was the third warmest January day in the past 25 years. We've got some cloud cover increasing off to the northwest of the Edmonton area. Chance of some scattered showers here overnight. And then early tomorrow morning, chance of some scattered showers to the southeast. The good news, temperatures still above zero in most of those areas. Roads and sidewalks may be a little slick in some spots, but technically no freezing rain. There's tomorrow morning, some clouds in the morning. I think midday we'll see the cloud thin out and then thicken back up. Around supper time, these showers should all stay off to the west of the Edmonton area late in the day tomorrow. So no real significant chance of precipitation in the city over the next couple of days. 1 in Fort McMurray, 2's Grand Prairie, Edmonton, Red Deer, Slave Lake tomorrow morning. Your daytime highs tomorrow afternoon, a degree to 4 degrees above zero across the northeast. About 4 or 5 degrees, Grand Prairie, Whitecourt, high level on the cool side at -6. Should be about 4 or 5 degrees above the freezing mark in Red Deer and Lloydminster. It's a little cooler than today. 7 in Jasper, and here in the city, I think we'll get to 6, maybe 7 for a daytime high, but the record, as we said, is 9. That one's probably safe. This one's in jeopardy, 8.3 from 1942. You can see the forecast high is 8. See how that plays out. 4 degrees on Thursday with some sunshine, and then still nice and warm through Friday and the coming weekend with daytime highs in the 2 to 5 degree range. A little cooler, next chance of snow, middle to the end of next week. That is your forecast.
Well, the warm weather is forcing Edmonton's ice castles to temporarily close this week. The winter attraction opened in freezing temperatures only 2 weeks ago. Organizers took to social media Friday night saying the closure will last until this Friday. Staff say the warmer temperatures would not be the safest experience for guests. The upcoming week's forecast is calling for highs of +8 degrees. Organizers say they hope to reopen next week or when temperatures cool back down.
When we see warm weather coming, we try to prep the ice castle, meaning we'll run water on it to get it like a nice solid coat before it starts to melt. And then we'll do this thing where we can close off any tunnels. We'll put plywood in front of them and we'll try to make it like a refrigerator in there.
The company says people who bought tickets for this week were sent an email with a link to exchange them or they get a refund. And down south, strong Chinook winds are making January unexpectedly even warmer and drier. CTV's Quinn Keenan reports.
Strong wind and warm weather have taken care of most of the snow left on the ground in Lethbridge. The city is no stranger to winter Chinooks, but systems this powerful are unusual.
It's looking like the next few days we could see temperatures, daytime highs looking 15 to 20 degrees above normal for a lot of places.
The warm weather will have some people headed outside to take advantage of the opportunity. Evergreen Golf Center's course and driving range are both open. Golfers will have the rare chance to hit the links in January in southern Alberta.
When we get customers coming in and they find out that we're open, they're usually quite excited to be able to swing outside and on the course, so that's always a plus for those customers coming in. We do have a year-round driving range as well.
Homeowners will also have the chance to do some wintertime checks and maintenance. Warm weather will highlight any leaks and high winds will expose any draft. It's even a chance to get some gardening done.
If it gets warm, as in above 10 degrees, it's also a chance to do some deep watering for your trees and shrubs. We haven't had much moisture yet this winter, and so those plants will really look forward to that extra moisture.
Lethbridge may see more typical winter weather return next week, but before then, some new heat records could be set. The all-time high in January for Lethbridge was 20 degrees, set in 2015.
The forecast right now, we we have a high of 19 for Wednesday. So it's possible that there could be an all-time record set for Lethbridge on Wednesday.
Quinn Keenan, CTV News, Lethbridge.
Well, that's all the time we have for tonight. Thank you so much for watching. Have a good rest of your evening. Good night.